Hi everybody, thank you for tuning in. My name is Daphine Anena Fiona, your physiotherapist, and I'm here to talk about mental health in children, especially children with special needs. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment, leave a like, and yeah, show us some love. Thank you to Incredibles Sports Hub for hosting me. Thank you, Desire. We apologize for being late. We are close to 1 hour late. We had some technical issues and now they're being fixed. So you're welcome and let's get going. So Mental Health Awareness Week. I think you've all seen the campaigns running for mental health well-being. People should know what mental health is about. People need to address mental health issues. People need to understand how to diagnose or how to tell that someone is having an issue with their mental health. This is what this month has been about, and I'm glad to be hosted on the last day by Incredibles. Thank you so much. So let's get going. What is mental health? According to World Health Organization, mental health is it's a big term that encompasses emotional, cognitive, and behavioral well-being of an individual. So everything to do with your emotions, everything to do with your cognition, how do you relate with the environment around you, how do you relate with other people, that is mental health. Your behavior, I think we all understand that that is all your mental health. So that's the well-being of your emotions, your cognition, and your behavior. That is what mental health is. And today we focus on a child. Who is a child, or children? In Uganda, a child is anyone below 18. There, I don't know if I qualify to be a child, but yeah. So we are saying in children with disabilities. Who is a child with disabilities? A disability is anything that limits someone's activity, someone's way of relating with the environment, or their learning capabilities, their cognition. That is a disability. It can also be physical activity limitations. So a child with disability is basically a person below the age of 18 with these limitations for their physical, emotional, and cognitive activities, being. So, forms of mental illness. The forms of mental illness in children are basically the same as those in adults, only that, of course, it's happening in a child. We have anxiety disorders, we have behavioral disorders, those specific disorders that affect a child's behavior. We have learning disorders. Learning disorders affect a child's cognition, okay? So that's how they become a form of mental illness. And for children with disabilities, the condition that brings on their disability usually comes along with mental illness, or a state of mental unwellness, if I should say, as a comorbidity to that condition. I hope we are together here. So, but mainly children with disabilities, you find that 90% of them have some form of mental unwellness. How do you know your child has mental illness? Usually, for children, the first things you see in a child who is having a mental illness or who is mentally unwell is a change in behavior. Children are very active beings. They are playing all the time. They are very socially engaging. I think if you went to a mall, to a shopping mall, or if you got out of your house, moved in the compound, if you live in a neighborhood that has many children, and you find a child, and you say hello, you see most of them will interact with you. And that's what children are. That's how they are built to be. They are built to be socially alert. They are built to be very playful, always running around. So the first things you see in a child who is mentally unwell is that change in behavior. There will be less playing, there will be less social engagement. Some of these signs are specific to the condition that the child has. For example, for children with autism, they find it very difficult to communicate. Communication, speech is a problem, but also understanding what someone is saying is a problem. So you find that some of them, when you say, "Hi, how are you?" they will say, "Hi, how are you?" But it's not because they have understood, it's because they are repeating what you have said. So, and then for another specific condition like cerebral palsy, depending on how severe the cerebral palsy is, you find that some of the children are withdrawn from society. Same goes for Down syndrome. A few children with Down syndrome are withdrawn from the society. Hydrocephalus and all the other conditions that bring on disabilities in children to bring that kind of effect. So lack of play, withdrawal, loss of appetite for some of them, and then you find some of them being very anxious. Anxiety is one of the ways you can tell, and I think we all know what anxiety is. Yeah. So, and also when your physician, your doctor, your physiotherapist can help to see some of these, can help to diagnose the child, to tell the specific condition the child has. So if you notice any of these symptoms, I advise you seek medical attention. Go to the nearest hospital, see a physician, see a physio, see anyone who can help you to diagnose the child correctly so that the child can get that specific help. Okay? I hope we are together, and yeah. So, how do you help a child who is mentally unwell? It becomes difficult to help a child who is mentally unwell because children naturally may not be able to communicate fully or properly how they feel. We usually, as medics, we rely on the parents to understand the children, to tell us that my child was playing every day, and now he prefers to sit in a corner and not look at people. Or we wait for the parents to say, my child used to sing every day and now he's always quiet, or he was eating so well and now I don't, like, parents come to tell us and give us a detailed explanation of how the child was before and now how they are. Okay, so that helps us to know and to also help the child. So other ways of helping the child besides seeking medical attention is to listen to your child. Children with disability already, many of them have speech problems, and leave alone speech, but even communication, okay? So when it comes to children with disability, you need to find a specialist to help this child. For other children who may not be impaired in any way, engage them socially, listen to them, try to find out what may have gone wrong, where did this start, and then you gradually address this. Okay? Let me go to the role of play in children with special needs. The role of play in children, not only children with special needs, but in all children for mental well-being is equally the same as the role of physical activity in adults, in people. Children, like I said, are naturally active people. Children need to play. Children need to interact. Children need to get out of the house and see the sun, bask away in the sun. Children need to be able to learn new things every day, okay? So the role of play is one, the euphoric effect of play. When a child plays, they get tired, their body demands for more energy, they will eat better. Food enables the development of the child mentally and physically. So you see the child is growing, the child is picking up things at school. When you teach them this is letter A, they'll be able to recognize letter A. They'll be able to recognize their relatives because of that. So that this is now a point where we say children need to play, children need to be active. Engage your children in as much activity as possible. Do not let the child spend the whole day in bed. Do not let the child sleep the whole day away. Wake them up, play with them, run around with them. Give them there are so many ways in which you can engage your child. It was about how to engage your child in play, how to get the child to play. You can check out the MAST physiotherapy page. They have short videos that can help children. Short videos of activities you can give your child to at home, even in a small space in the house. So playing gets the child to grow, if I should say that. They're using up their body, like I said. They're using up their energy, they'll sleep better at night, and all those will later come up to good mental well-being. I was asked to talk about the impact of COVID-19 on children and children with special needs. Okay, on their mental health. I would think many children have benefited from this because they are having their parents at home. This is not backed up by any evidence, it's just experience. It's that the parents are at home and they can watch their kids, okay? To engage. I think the parents are the ones who engage their kids the most. So they are at home with their children. The children are enjoying the comfort of their parents. Them, I think homeschooling for some, learning new activities, cleaning, washing, cooking, all those things, taking walks, taking juice, all those things. So that is one good impact, because I think impact is both positive and negative, is that the children have gotten to spend more time with their parents. The parents have also gotten to learn their children more, especially working parents, working moms and dads. I think this is a time where you've bonded more with your child. So now you understand your child better and you'll be in a better position to tell what is not going right in this child. Negatively, I'm not sure. Maybe for the children being locked up in one space. I know so many teenagers who like to move, and now you're at home, you cannot move, you're being suffocated. It's like the world is getting smaller and smaller. But the good news is the government allows us to walk. So get out of the house, walk. The more time you spend in the house, the smaller the world will get. And I think you understand what that means. When eventually everything begins to become small, you later find out that it's just you and you alone, and that's where the depression will start, or anxiety, anything that can bring about that can distort your mental health. Okay, I don't know if there are any questions. If there are any questions going on. Okay. But if anyone has a question, I think now is the time, because what I had prepared is that I have said. Oh, Okay, my producer says there are no questions. So I'd like to, if you need more details about how to help a child or how to help a child with special needs, this information was meant for the entire public, everyone, all age groups, especially young adults. I mean, everyone has a child somewhere. Your nieces, your nephews, could be your grandchild, could be your cousin, could be your sibling. So this was meant to give you an insight onto being of a child, of any child. It could be the neighbor's child, and then you can come in to help the child. I mean, it takes a village to raise a child. It will take all of us to recognize that children also have mental unwellness, and then when we come together, when we get such information to know how are they affected, how is their mental health affected, then we can help the children, because like usually find it so hard to, they cannot to express their feelings.
Is mental health genetic? Like, can a parent's mental health affect the child?
Okay, I have seen a question. Is mental health genetic? Is I think that's the same as asking, is it in the family line? Does it travel in genes or something? The answer is yes and no. Yes, in that there are some conditions that have been linked to genes, to family lines. However, there are also some conditions that have been linked to environmental factors only, okay? And these are the factors that include your interaction with people around you, and then how do the people around you also react. Maybe I can give some examples. For children with disabilities, their mental unwellness is usually associated with their disability. Also are somehow sometimes linked to genetics, sometimes not. And then there are some other, and these are, for example, some anxiety disorders, some depression. Those are things that are mainly environmental. Yeah. Producer, question? Yeah, so she says so far there is no other question. So please, if you need any more information, you can go to our DMs, you can inbox us, we'll be able to address the questions. After, go to the Incredibles Sports Hub page and leave your questions there. I will answer them. And I also on the other social media platforms. For videos about how to help your children at home, how to engage them, check out Must Physio. They are really good. It's Must Physiotherapy Department on Facebook and Must Physio on Twitter. If you need any medical assistance, if you have identified a child who has a problem and you think the child needs medical attention, please feel free to, you can find us, you can come to Platinum Medical Center in Wandegea on Buganda Road. We'll be able to help your child as well. Any other question? So finally, I would like to thank my producer. Thank you, Lisa. And I'd like to thank Desire, Edith Mukisa of Incredible Sports Hub for having me. I think it's a pleasure talking about what I like